love this stuff. I think it's awesome. And I need it.
Well, that's two good reasons.
Yeah.
Okay, so neck supported, right, and then also knees, right, because we're going to be compressing all into the legs, the inside of the legs, and the pillowing guarantees that everyone will be good, right? You don't have to worry about the tight hamstrings, incompatibilities in the SI joints, anything like this. Okay. Like I should swing these all around and then just choose.
Like we should start fighting now.
You could do like a themed, like shiatsu thing with like Star Wars.
There you
This
go.
is the evolution that I was talking about. Never would I on my own have thought of going in that direction, but now thank you.
Got a big advantage if we go against the regular shiatsu people.
Right. Okay, so we're going to make some contact. Right? Okay, so far. And during the course of when you're compressing and they're feeling any discomfort, of course, try adjusting. Right. So we're just going to start doing compression with the weight of my foot. Now for her, I'm going to open up my stance because the way her foot is, so I can get a little bit more. Yeah. Okay. And I'm shifting my weight, so my foot's not coming down like this, but more my heel is spreading, so that I can more readily shift my weight and also regulate the pressure. Because if it's too much, I can easily back off. It's okay. And we're going to take the pressure around the heel, and this contact point here, the heel, you can look at the manual, I'm sure this is over. Okay. It's very solid. So my heel's on the side of her heel. And then we're going to start coming up the leg. So we're addressing the soft tissue here. We're addressing, for any shiatsu folks, spleen, liver, and kidney coming up through the inner side of the lower leg. Well, we're on the inside of the tibia. We're not pressing on the bone. We're addressing the soft tissue. So we're just coming in like this.
Yeah.
And one thing is when you're making good contact, you can feel how one body part connects with the other. So there's certain natural connection, like my toes just fit right in that curve of the gastroc, right? And if you're trying to be specific to any lines, you can come up underneath with your toes. I'm addressing a spleen meridian now.
Spleen is messed up.
You should use more positive terms. I wanted to say something though right away too, when we're working. We work both always with a physical and energetic awareness, because that's the two things that we have to work with. There's no splitting them. So when I'm working, I start working the leg. I feel muscle, trying to get some nice release in the muscle, right? And then I start thinking about your anatomy awareness and how so much of the incongruities happen because of connective tissue, fascia, that gets bound up a lot. In Thai massage, when they talk about the energy lines, the sen, they have a beautiful awareness that the lines are in between things. The lines are in between things. So which means that they're right in between the muscles. And when you're addressing the lines, you're addressing fascial planes. And when that fuzz, like that dude on YouTube says, gets the fascia clear, the muscles glide easier. So that means that there's less pull on the joints. If you're looking at it energetically, there's less probability of stagnation. So when we're working, if you have just working muscle, and then the pull away from the bone a little bit, if you want to be specific to any lines that you're aware of that you work with, because the lines are in between things, in between the bone and the muscle, in between these two muscles. You can work and be more specific and open up the fascial planes of the leg with your compression. So it's just an interesting premise that when you start, you have all those options. and you're going to take it up to the knee. Now, then we're going to continue up into the adductors. And you notice when I'm working, my stance is relatively open, and I'm just shifting my weight back and leaning in. So it's inhale, exhale. So now I'm going to continue up here, but to use this foot, falling, because it starts undermining my balance. So you want to try to choose a foot that applies pressure, but also opens your stance so that you have a better sense of balance. And when you have a better sense of balance, you'll start making clearer choices on how much pressure to apply. Because your body's supported and the movement is easy, so you can more relatively check on the pressure. So we're all good, right? And we've never met before.
Perfect pressure.
I've never smashed
Yeah.
down on your adductors before.
No. You haven't paid me.
No. So that's the general premise of working up the leg. So those considerations about foot choice, keeping the heel planted here, and then switching to a contact that allows you to keep the work in front of you so that your weight can just sink in more readily. If you're working in a sense of rotation, it's a little harder to keep the pressure applied. So I try to adjust myself as much as possible so that I can keep the work in front of me, so it allows for the weight to transfer a lot easier. And when you're coming up here, you know, you want to stop respectfully, but also because of the tendinous attachment here, you can just turn your foot a little bit like this on the side and come up a little bit more specific to the top of the thigh. Oh, okay. Right.
So you're using the whole of the foot, not specifically like ball or you're going for the arch or anything?
Yes, I'm using different parts for different body parts. So I'm just going to run up it again, and then we'll do a little exchange just to get used to the work. All right. So this lower work, my heel is planted on the ground because it's a little bit, I don't know, more delicate or something, but you can bring a little bit more specificity to it. And one thing I would suggest while you're working and you're using the pole is don't forget about the pole either. So meaning try checking out different areas when you're working and see if there's where your point is, because everyone's got a different point where you feel like, oh, it's just like planting another foot. It's like, because you have a good stance and you're like, okay, I feel balanced now. It's the same. So check it out a little bit.
So you're saying the pole's not really taking weight though, it's just there for like a balance thing?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm not doing this, because then it's muscle, and then it's a crutch. So I don't want that. So no, but that's a good point to say. It's more of a balance thing. Because my weight's all here. You know, I'm just coming down like this. This is just a secondary thing. You know, eventually, like I said, you won't maybe need it. Certain areas. You know. Okay, so then I'm going to change. Right, I'm going up. So where I'm looking at is, here's the bone, and I'm coming on the inside of the bone, because you want to just mash down on the soft tissue. Right? And
Are
if
you purposefully curling your toes or did
It's
it
from
just
the
happens?
pressure.
Okay.
like when the contact.
So is your foot generally like pretty relaxed, it's just taking the weight and then
Yeah,
kind of happens?
yeah,
Okay.
so far.
Except when you did the more specific
Right.
pointing.
Like when I came in and did like spleen.
I was trying to get it.
Oh, she just manipulated me on camera. Very good. I'm bringing the toes up underneath the bone. So that way I'm more purposely, but here mostly is relaxed. And then again, when we switch here, right, so you want to come up. And now, see, I had the pole here, but I felt like it needed to be here because this is the direction I'm going, so.
You're just kind of constantly making a triangle wherever you're at.
Oh, that's a good way to say it.
Yeah, because it looks like you're just making kind of like a, I don't know what they call it, isosceles, the little 90-degree triangle. Oop.
That's right. Because I was thinking of broadening the base, but that's what it
Yeah.
does. Here.
More than just a pretty face behind the camera.
Thanks.
Okay, that's enough for the face.
Okay.